At 5 o'clock this morning, one of our canine officers saw an SUV with an Alabama license plate parked outside of a business. The canine team, when they're not on an active call, actually does business checks in the middle of the night to make sure that no burglaries are taking place, no one is casing a business for burglaries, that type of thing. The canine officer approached the SUV. A man was inside the SUV. The officer, during this initial interaction, we are told, saw a knife inside the vehicle and backed away, called for backup. Other officers arrived, and through some interaction, the man got out of the SUV armed with the knife and is reported to have charged at the officers. The officers fired on him as they were being charged, and he was hit, has been taken to Vanderbilt Medical Center, where he is now deceased. The individual, we believe, is from Alabama. We think that the individual who was shot with the knife actually belongs or owns the vehicle, owns the SUV. There is body camera footage from the officers. We haven't had a chance to review all of that yet, but per our normal procedure in these, we'll be reviewing the video and have much more information for you later in the day. We need to confirm the man's identification, if indeed he is living out of state, and a lot of unanswered questions as to what he was doing here, parked outside the building, just what was going on this morning. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation is already on the scene, and they will be handling the investigation into the officer-involved shooting.
Don, can you tell us how many officers fired there?
At this point, we believe 3. We believe the canine officer and 2 of the backup officers.
Were any officers injured?
No. And this is very, very early, so we'll have a lot more to tell you later in the day.
Do we know how many times he was shot?
No.
Was there actually a burglary that took place, or were they just kind of
Not that-
out the vehicle and noticed the knife?
No. So in the overnight hours, because of business break-ins, business burglaries that you all hear about every day, when the canine team is not on an active search call, they are checking businesses, doing routine business checks. We do lots and lots of those every week. That's what he was doing here. He saw this SUV that is parked just in front of the canine car. You see a canine car with its hood up to help cool the engine in this heat. And there's an SUV parked in front of him. That is the suspect's SUV. So the canine officer stopped to check to see what was going on with the SUV. Maybe the person was broken down, was something else going on. And through that interaction, the canine officer saw a knife, backed away, radioed for backup officers to come join him. And when the backup officers arrived, there was some type of interaction that caused the man to come out of the vehicle with a knife. He came at the officers, and they fired on him. That's what we understand at this point. Again, a lot more information to come out later today as we have a chance to review the footage. Okay? It's an SUV with an Alabama license plate. I haven't gone up to look at the make and model.
Don, this is right next door to the police precinct. Is this just a matter of, crime happens everywhere, it doesn't matter if you're close or not? It's just odd that it's literally right next door.
Well, we're on the Charlotte Avenue corridor, and the Charlotte Avenue corridor has a lot of businesses. And at 5 o'clock in the morning, this canine officer was doing what he is supposed to be doing, checking on businesses. While the police precinct is here, there are businesses next door. And there were not officers at the business, watching the business, if you will. So the canine officer sees the SUV, stops to check on the SUV.
Should we
Okay.
expect to get the body camera footage today?
Typically, yes. Okay.
Thank you.